And they say this. I swear they do, brethren and sisters. They say this. And that's quicker and less expensive than doing laboratory tests that would actually show the condition of the seafood. So they are hiring people to sniff it. So to illustrate what a fine system this is, get yourself a dog. They can sniff a lot better anyway. That's why bloodhounds track people, but not the reverse. And present this dog a sample of seafood to sniff to verify that it's safe. And I recommend goldfish. Goldfish of the species Cheesius snackfoodia. And show that to the dog. And the dog will sniff it. The dog will smell of it. And the dog will adore it and consume it under the last drop of Cheesius snackfoodia, thereby proving, hallelujah, our seafood is safe. Guaranteed that it will work, ladies and gentlemen. Time to bring the hammer down on that jiving Reverend Dave. His time has come and has done long gone on doing anything his way. He's been telling you in his style what you should do all the while, trying to make you smile. But what you doing as your planet burns up, well, I reckon you've done something, but is it enough? No, it ain't. No, it ain't. So I got a new message from Delirious D. That's me. Who don't claim to be no saint, but brings a different view for you to see. Because, just between you and me, there ain't just one Delirious D. We are many and our numbers are growing. Don't believe the ways you are showing. How to fix what you say is a crisis. So Delirious D's advice is, do what you can with whatever methods are at hand. Do what you can with whatever methods are at hand. But if that don't work, don't be a jerk. You know what you desire, and you know you will expire. So till then, do your thing. But Delirious D says, get what you can. Bring on the bling, baby. Bring on the bling. I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. Reverend Dave is back. I had to thrust that prodigal aside because I feared where he might go next. I know him all too well because he resides inside of me like he resides inside all of you. Face it, folks. And we, Delirious D and I, we got a memo about how to behave here. And it said, the Sierra Club retreat is largely funded with a 501c3 charitable grant administered by the Sierra Club Foundation and is intended to educate the public, blah, blah, blah. Please do not include any reference to electoral activities, including statements of blah, blah, blah. Speakers must not issue a legislative call to action on a bill rather than blah, blah, blah. There can be no mention of registering or voting. That's the memo we got. And that's why I had to rise up and drive off Delirious D, because right after this talk about 501c3 comes C4. And lawyers know C4 is a clause in the statute books about what these organizations can do and not do and say and not do. But C4 is also the name of a high-grade plastic explosive. And Delirious D has heard about that. And he's excitable and easily confused by fine distinctions like the difference between legal concepts and high explosives, if they're both called C4. But actually, it's easy to comply with this memo because the problem is not who wins or loses elections. It's not what legislation advances toward passage or doesn't, because our problem is not just that there's oil and dispersants in the water, brethren and sistren. There's also the problem of BP in the government. And you could see this at the Mobile Command Center, which was done up like a compound in a war zone with double lines of fences and security guards and cops all around it. And inside of there, under the guidance of the agents from BP, were gathered representatives of our government operating under principles decided in secret by BP at their headquarters in London. And you could not get in there like a citizen could at a council meeting or any other place where your fate is decided. Oh no, it was BP in the government, and that was the problem, and nothing in the memo says you can't say or do anything about that. No.
Go for it. Elections are over.
Yes. And the same is true, friends, at every level, not just local, and not just fossil fuels and global warming. Every threat to our life-sustaining virtues of our one beloved global home has that same problem attached to it, and we got to do something about it, like I've been trying to tell you for the longest time. And I'll just remind you that Noah, in his ark, it was hardly more than a dinghy tossed on the flood. It was not a metaphor or a parable. Friends, it was a prophecy. He and his living cargo were given one reprieve. God granted them the rainbow sign, but warned about the fire next time. How many reprieves have we used up already? Where was it? Oh yes, that's right. So some cap and trade legislation is going through Congress despite the outcome of the election, and it still has some prospect of passage. So write letters to your members of Congress and and call their offices, and we will have a legislative victory for sure. Thank you.